Hey team, welcome back to the product channel. In today's video, I wanted to discuss something that was very prevalent, and that's the job search. You know, I started out my career in marketing and sales and recruitment for a technology firm. So I wanted to kind of offer you a few tips and tricks and insights into the job market, because right now, this job market is so tough. You know, we're in one of those situations that you can do all the right things and you could still not get the job, or you could send out 300-400 different applications and you still could not hear back. So I just wanted to preface that, because this is just a few of those tips. You know, when you talk about the basic job search, you're thinking about, okay, well, let's just get a good resume with keywords, good formatting. Make sure that the resume is ATS friendly. Make sure that your resume aligns with the job description and keywords. Those are all basic things, you know, for a job search. But now we're dealing with not only different times, but a job market, specifically in the tech sector, that we've never really seen before. You know, we couldn't really prepare for this. I think this is a lot of the trailing off from COVID and the hiring and the layoffs. So I just wanted to give you a few tips, and hopefully this can kind of provide insight if you're struggling with your job search, and I'm just here to help you, so let's get to it. So in today's job market, it's gotten that much harder for a lot of people. It's no longer maybe the good old days with our parents where you could just show up to a job, give them your resume, you got an interview and you got hired. It takes so much more than that. So what I did, the product manager in me, I said, let me do a little bit of A/B testing. So I found this tool where it's supposed to, you know, manage resumes, if you will, to get past the ATS systems. So it actually had a plugin. I thought that this was really neat, and I decided to use it for about 2 months. And I sent out a good 50-60 resumes. The way that it works is that you upload your resume into the application and you save the job inside the tool. And it tells you how close you are to the job description and passing the ATS system. Every single job that I applied for was like between 95 to 100% passing rate for my resume and the job, obviously. So I did this and I did all the keywords, and it would take me hours to do this. And I didn't get one phone call, no recruitment, no nothing. No, like not even one recruiter contacted me. And I was, you know, pretty disappointed, but I wasn't really shocked. You know, back maybe a couple of years ago, if you got referred into a job because the person knew the hiring manager or whatever the case was, you most of the time were granted at least an interview. Not in today's job market. Today's job market, it's not about who you know that knows someone else. It's about specifically getting in front of the hiring manager or knowing the hiring manager. So here's what I've done in the past, and here's what I continue to do to try and get at least interviews, because you should always be interviewing, in my opinion. So the number one thing that I do is I go through the job board. So for me, I love using LinkedIn, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because you can see hiring managers, and even if they're not on the job description or the role, you can still look them up and see who works at which companies, and I think that this is really helpful. So this gets to my list, if you will, of what I would do. So specifically on LinkedIn, you see roles, you look for roles, right? I've noticed in this market, the hiring manager is usually not attached to the role. Now, if the hiring manager is attached to the role, I would send a connect, and that's like my short pitch. You know, something like, hey, saw you were hiring. I would love to have the opportunity to send you my resume and talk with you at some point. It seems very basic, but you adjust your style as you go. I think just connecting with them, I prefer connecting as opposed to a LinkedIn email, just because with a LinkedIn email in this job market, it's really hard for everyone to get back to you, or anyone to get back to you. Really, I've seen hiring managers say, hey, I've got an inbox of 1,000 emails. It's nearly impossible to go through all that. So at least when you have a connect, it stays there until, you know, they connect with you and it shows up as a message. And also you only get a certain amount of in-mails, you know, when you're a LinkedIn member. I think they give you, I think it's between 5 and 11, something like that. So if you can save those for a job that you really, really want and you can't connect with the person because let's say you have to provide an email or whatever the case is, I would definitely save those, but I love the connect option and then you're immediately following them. So if a job that you're interested in doesn't have the hiring manager on it, read the role. And sometimes it'll say, oh, it's reporting into the director of product or the senior director of product or the VP. If it doesn't say that, I just actually go in the search and I search for the company and directors or senior directors or VPs of the company. Or I'll say, you know, product management role, hiring for this company. And sometimes the hiring manager will have hiring on their profile. So that's just a few ways to kind of get through, kind of getting past to get in front of the hiring manager. I also leverage my connections and what connections I know work there. So if I have like 3 connections, I'll reach out to them and be like, hey, you know, do you know this person? I see that they're hiring for this role. Can you connect me to them? And usually they're more obliged to get on the phone with somebody that connected them than, you know, just randomly reaching out. Like I said, it is a tough market and you could connect with 1,000 people and you could probably hear back from 3 or 4. But it is a numbers game, so it's gonna take time and perseverance, and just know in the end, you'll go where you're supposed to. Also, another tip, personal emails. I actually underestimated this. You know, specifically with LinkedIn, a lot of people will send messages and like I said, they go unread. And some people don't even go on LinkedIn. But people always tend to read their emails, whether it's personal or professional. I would opt for professional if you can. You can find hiring emails through like various platforms. Usually it's pretty standard, but if you do a little bit of digging, you can find it. And I would personally reach out to them because not a lot of people are gonna write a personal email or find a way to find an email. They're just gonna go through LinkedIn. And I think that this is really valuable, especially in this tough job market. So remember, when you are reaching out to hiring managers, they don't want ChatGPT or any of these AI services writing for you. You're gonna see very standard emails. Like I can tell when somebody reaches out to me and they ChatGPT'd me. It's very like basic, you know, kind of like, oh, hope all is well, and very kind of robotic at certain points. But specifically keywords they tend to use over and over. Like if I see like Foster, I definitely know, like, okay, they definitely ChatGPT'd me. Just certain keywords, if you use like AI at all, you're gonna see that there is a bit of a difference between somebody approaching you from like a very humanistic perspective. Not saying that I'm knocking AI at all. I think AI is incredible, but you want to stand out and you want to have that human feel when you know, talk to hiring managers. You want them to feel like, hey, like this person's really interested in the role, and you want to stand out. You know, I think, like I said, AI is great. It can write a lot of things, but if you're trying to get a job and a hiring manager has 1,000 emails, think about how you're going to differentiate yourself. Think about how you're going to be different, and they're gonna wanna talk to you over those 1,000 other people's. What makes you different? Okay, your LinkedIn profile, your experience, that's great, but how do they know that? You think that they're gonna have time to look at your LinkedIn profile for 10 minutes? You're gonna have to really pitch to them. That's why I always said, like, since hiring managers have been mentioning on LinkedIn, they're like, hey, I can't get through 1,000 emails. So trying to connect with them and add them in LinkedIn, I think is incredible. You get a short pitch, and also if they accept you, let's say that they don't respond to you, that's okay, because they'll automatically now, LinkedIn, when you add somebody as a friend, you're automatically following them. So if you post often, they can see, oh, how do I know? Oh, I know. Okay, let me get back to this person. You're always constantly on their radar when you connect with them personally. If you send them an email, and I understand sometimes sending an in-mail is very difficult because you only have a certain amount of in-mails that you can send. Sometimes you get free ones, but in my experience, it's a hit or miss. I don't have much luck because, once you send it, that's it. If you're not friends with them and they're not following you, they will forget about you. So you want to constantly find a way to get in front of the hiring manager, and you want to be like, okay, like whether they talk to you or not, you still always will be on their radar. So also something that's really cool as well, there's a lot of product management groups on LinkedIn, and some of them are like product management hiring groups. So hiring managers will post in there and they'll look for people to tag them. Or just in regular product management groups, they'll be like, hey, I'm looking for this role to be filled. Do you all know anyone? I'm hiring. That's a really good forum because a lot of hiring managers want to see that you're actively involved in this space, because product management is very nuanced, it's multifaceted. You really have to have a passion to deliver great products for customers, and hiring managers really want to see that. So if they see you're a part of a group or somebody tagged you in the group, they're gonna be like, okay, like let me get on a call with them, let me chat with them, let me see what's up. So there's multiple different ways to get around the job search, so that you're not just aligning your resume to keywords and hopefully you'll get through. Also, something that may bring a little bit of controversy, which is completely okay, I still write cover letters. I know a lot of people have told me in this job market, maybe they're not reading them. I get it. It's entirely up to you. I doubt anyone has probably read my cover letters, but I always believe in going a little bit of the extra mile, because you never know if they're between you and another candidate and they see that you wrote the cover letter and the candidate didn't, they're gonna wanna know more about you. But like I said, it's a tough market. Don't beat yourself up if you don't write a cover letter. But I just kind of wanted to point it out there that, that coefficient value of giving the extra 1%, how much farther that can go in your job search. Because like I said, it's a tough market and we're all just trying to make it, which is why I'm creating this video. And I really hope that it provided you some insights into the job search. So let's go over the basics of a resume, just kind of give a little recap. You want to make sure your resume is ATS friendly. You want to make sure that very standard fonts, that there's no images. Obviously you have a good pitch and you have keywords that can describe what you do. But going above and beyond, you need to find the hiring manager. That is so crucial. Whether it's on the job or you have to go search for the hiring manager, either way, you need to try to find your way to get in front of them, whether it's through forums on LinkedIn or groups. Even, sometimes you can find it through Blind or Reddit, or try to get referrals. Referrals are actually really important. But like I said, in this market, referrals may not hold as much weight. I also would try to find a way to get their personal email if you can. I think that will really make you stand out. And if you can't send a connect, send an in-mail, but I would highly recommend that you connect with them if you can. Send your pitch so you're constantly on the radar, especially if you post a lot. So I wanted to wish everyone luck with this job search. I know it's so taxing, and I know sometimes you just kind of want to give up, but hopefully my tips helped you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the future videos. And as always, I'll see you soon.